Hello everybody, it's been a while as always, but I'm always happy to bring you back to another video of mine when opportunity presents itself. And today we are going to be replacing on these two vehicles right there. As you can see, I have them labeled. Here's the Ford Fusion filters. Here are the Subaru Ascent filters. Now, I already made a video about how horrible it is to replace filters for this Ford Fusion. I have not, however, made a video about how not horrible it is to replace filters on the Subaru Ascent. And the only reason for that is because the Subaru Ascent now is getting around 9,000 miles, give or take. I think it's still more on the lower end of the 8,000. But it's due for its second free oil change through Subaru because this was purchased new, this one was not. And I always like to do these filter replacements myself. I always think that for a dealership to charge you $50, $60, $70 to replace these things is just ridiculous, considering the fact that this entire bunch, I think I paid somewhere around $40 some for all of them. I think these were like $9 a piece and these were like 12 or 13. As you can see, they're all different brands, so these two are the same. This is some sort of an Eco Guard. This is Kurimoop. What is this Kurimoop thing? Obviously they're all made in China. I don't know about this one, Fram. Where's this? This one seems to be the most, legit looking one, but proof of purchase, Fram. Where's this thing made? I have no idea. Doesn't say where it's made, but I'm pretty sure they're all made in about the same place. Yeah, I don't know. No, this one doesn't say. Maybe here, manufactured, Fabrique, Cleveland, Ohio. Oh wow, made in the USA. Holy crap, this is a new one. So, but I can tell you, this is a pure coincidence. So when I purchased these, I just went on Amazon and I put whichever ones were the cheapest ones. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a Fram person. I'm not any of these brands mean absolutely nothing to me. To me, they just mean a filter. And in this case, we're going to start with the Ford Fusion. And by the way, I only brought the keys to the Ascent, but I am one of those people who just loves to use these buttons or these touchpad things, only because oftentimes I find myself, without keys or two keys to, let's say, this vehicle versus the other one. And I love to be able to get in there with a code. I wish every single car had that. I don't know why only Ford does. But in any case. There you go. Here, I guess I gotta do a little prop rod action right there. Where does this go? Right there. Another thing about this car, the hood doesn't really lift a whole lot up. Like, I feel like it should be able to, because like this is probably around my eye level. But in any case, I'm going to be replacing the engine oil next week on this car. Looks like it's a little dusty. Oh, look at that. I think I forgot to close it last time. That's weird. Yeah, this is my daily driver. Obviously, used at 37,000 miles. Now it's got a little over 50. And I do have to get an oil changed. We'll do it next week. I also see some crap that got accumulated here over the last winter. And the weather has been kind of nice. It's almost summertime here. And I am glad to see that this little protection right here stops what would have absolutely destroyed the Lincoln Town Car, which is a problem that I did have my previous vehicle, where the water would end up inside because this thing would get way too clogged up. So I'm glad that this little simple mesh kind of prevents it from happening. So because I already made a video about in this case the engine air filter requires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think there's a 5 screws, and these are these star type of screws or the hexagonal one, but I don't know whichever one I'm going to find first. To me, that's an overkill. I'm not sure why this is necessary. Why couldn't there be 1 or 2 clamps, considering the fact that there's a lot of real estate here? Or they could have made some sort of a... All right, was that really necessary, BMW? Yeah, all right. But in any case, we're going to remove that. We're going to look at the filters. So the last time I replaced them was when I first got the car, which was not last winter. So about a year and a half ago, I replaced all the filters. This one was relatively fine. The one inside, which is an absolute hell to get to, was bad. It was never replaced at up to 37,000 miles. So because I already filmed this process, I'm not going to do it. But, you know, there's going to be another video that I'll post. But basically, I'll remove these and we'll see what lies underneath it. All right, so here it is. I undid it. In Ford's defense, they make these screws, you know, they get kind of stick in there so they don't really fall out, because otherwise I imagine that every Ford Fusion engine bay would be full of these screws. And it looks like I'm using the H3 hexagonal screwdriver that fits right in here. So inside, don't really see anything. The interesting thing is that this little thing here, I am not sure what it is. I noticed it last time I did it. It doesn't look like there's anything replaceable here, because it's all kind of, you know, plastic welded in. I'm not sure if this is some sort of an additional filter or what is this, but can't seem to replace it. Can't seem to remove it. This particular component is made in Mexico for Ford Motor Company. So that's interesting. And, you know, overall it's pretty clean. So here is the filter here. Once again, this is about 13,000 miles. I guess it's recommended to do it every 12,000 miles. Here's the old one, made in China. I don't know, 99, whatever that means. It doesn't look to be, you know, very, you know, dirty or anything like that. But the thing is, for the Ford Fusion, the problem is that, you know, it's a project. Like, you can't just quickly pop a couple clamps off and see if it's dirty to change. So for me, I would rather just do it on a timer. Now, this very weird design, I don't know why this hole is there, but here's the new one. The date code is December 11th, 2023. It's 19. So there's 99. I don't really understand what the deal is, but in any case, since it's a project, we're gonna put a new one here, just like that. This little box thing, I guess it's getting covered up by whatever this is. Yeah, I think, you know what, nope, maybe I need to rewind. Oh, there you go. And then down it goes. And this is the easier one of the two. The one that goes on the inside, that's hell on wheels. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, let me put this one back and we'll pick it up. All right, folks, so about 10 minutes later, I removed the side piece like I showed you guys last time. I removed this trim piece that I showed you guys last time. I removed 2 more screws up here and 1 more screw here, because there's supposed to be a 4th screw somewhere on this side, but the last time I did it, I couldn't get it in there. I just couldn't. And I pulled the glove box out, and I pulled this little plastic cover off. Now, there's supposed to be 2 more screws right here, 1 right there and 1 right there. Last time I did it, I said, screw it, I cannot do this. These screws don't really need to be in there. I mean, it clicks in place, and, you know, I'm not gonna spend even more time messing around with it. So here's the filter as I installed it last time. And let's go get it on the light here. I mean, look at this. Look at this mess. Now, the second time of me doing this, you know, obviously I was a lot faster than the first time. Plus, I, you know, bypassed a few screws. But this is not necessary. Whew. I don't know. These 2 pieces came from, you know, from underneath the engine. So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, from underneath the air filter, you know, engine air filter. So here's our Kurimup. It came in this kind of halfway destroyed box. So let's get it. Oh, it's even got plastic. So here you go. Let's see. Let's get the plastic off. All right. So here's the old one. I mean, it's got some crap inside, but overall, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, here it looks almost new. Here, yeah, it does. It did catch some things here and there, like a little dust. But overall, like, I feel like if I would just hit it on the ground and get some of this crap out, I would probably keep using it for another year. But there's a problem that, you know, you're so invested in getting this filter out that, you know, you can't really pop in for a quick check, right? I mean, once you're kind of already invested 15 minutes of your life trying to get access to this thing, I mean, the last thing you want is be like, oh, you know what, in a couple months I'll replace it. No, I mean, once the thing is out, like, you want to get it over with and not to not to mess with this. So I think so the airflow goes up. And also here's another thing, like, it's really uncomfortable to do this because you can't really sit on the seat here. You have to be on the floor while you're doing this. All right, so the airflow goes this way. No, so the airflow actually goes this way. Yeah, I think it's no, what am I doing? It's this way. Here you go. Or actually, wait a minute. Hold on. Now it's got me thinking. So it's got to be installed sideways. And the fan goes... Oh, okay, so the fan... So it's actually this way, I think. So it's like this. Yeah, because the fan is here, it blows up, and it comes through here, so it's got to be this way. All right, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Plus, you got these wires. So these wires, they're also in the way, because you kind of like pinch them. Oh, God, what am I doing wrong now? All right, I need two hands to be able to push these wires out of the way and then clip these things in there. So let me check if I can do this. All right, so yeah, so I double check the airflow to make sure it's right. And also, yeah, definitely need two hands, because these things need to click into one another. And I guess there's screws in there to prevent it from unclicking, but they're clicked and they're pretty good. Like, I don't think you'd be able to undo it even with one hand. And let's look at all these stickers. Look at all this stuff. Instrument panel version H. Line IP Ford. Some sort of markings here. And also here, ID. And then there's D. And there's this. Yeah, and also, you know, these poor clips that are right here. And also that are in here. You know, you keep having to undo this, you know, supposedly, you know, once a year. I mean, what are the odds of these things surviving for the longevity of the car? You know, here's my air vent. You know, I don't know. It's just, I know I badmouthed this design before, and I'm still gonna do it as long as I have this car. But what kind of a masochist invented this? And plus, you got an airbag module right in there. You got your fan. I guess if anything, the fan would be relatively easy to get to if you have to get replace the blower fan. But still, like, this whole setup just smells bad design. That somebody who is, you know, who's supposed to be doing this often. Yeah. All right, so one thing about filming, you know, living where I live, is a lot of noisy neighbors. No, I should say nosy neighbors that, you know, somebody approach, hey, what are you doing? You know, what are you taking apart your car for? And I had to explain to them, hey, you know, this is how you change the air filter for the AC. So the bottom line is, I put it all back. I got that screw in, two on top. That one, the one that's supposed to go underneath the dash there, I never installed it the last time I did it. Because once again, it's next to impossible to get in. Got all these clips back, got everything back. Once again, as the car becomes older, as the plastics become brittle, you're just basically automatically, you know, deterring yourself from doing this, because nobody wants to keep doing this every year. Now, I just observed how you know, relatively clean this filter was after a year. So I have a feeling that the next time I do this, it's probably going to be in 2 years, because here you go, after 1 year. And so again, it's all just the daily driving. I mean, I don't take this car a lot to, you know, like to interstate travel. We take this car, the other one. So this one, I'll probably just do this once every 2 years. So I just have to remember to go back to here in 2027 and trying this again. All right, so 2 filters out of the way. Let's compare. Now, keep in mind, I have not ever replaced filters on this car. But our former vehicle, which is a Subaru Forester 2016, I have replaced it multiple times. So, let's see. Let's explore together. You know, that is about a half an hour project. Now that I've been through it and I kind of know how it works and all that stuff. Here, if I know anything about... oh, you know what? This one needs a prop rod as well. So let's get this one in there. And this one, because the car itself is kind of taller, and I think the hood also opens up quite nicely up. Let's take a look here. Now this car, oh, look at this. We got a B, I think. Oh yeah, some stripy animal right there. This car is obviously pretty new. It's got 9,000 miles compared to the other one with 50. Let's take a look. How are we doing? Coolant level? Yeah, kind of on the lower end, but still fine. We got the little mesh right here with a little plant life here. But once again, nothing major. What else we got here? Okay, yeah, not too shabby. It will come. It will go to for an oil change. But first of all, we have these 2 clips. Wow. Now I have a feeling that to make this easier, I believe this screw needs to come out. But if I remember it correctly from the Forester, once I have 2 hands, I'm able to separate this component and just pull the filter out. You can kind of see it right there. See, Subaru? Yeah, made in the USA. Look at that. So we have a American car made in Mexico with some combination, I'm sure, of parts all over the place. We have a Japanese car that's made in the USA. Now, the reason for that is because these Ascents are basically made for the US market. I don't think they're sold outside of the US, so they were made specifically for the people here in the United States who love big cars. But I think in Japanese, this would be like in Japan, this would be too huge of a vehicle. All right, so let me grab my second hand there, and we'll see if we can get this filter out. Yeah, exactly. So all you got to do, just separate this with one hand. You don't need to remove anything. No need to touch the clamp or the whatever this is, oxygen sensor, I believe. Or you don't need to remove this. You'll literally just pull this apart, and this thing slides right out. Now, at 9,000 miles, what do we see here? Actually, not a lot. I mean, yeah, it's got a little particles in there. And considering we did take this thing out, you know, on a couple road trips, including a week-long trip to Washington, D.C. So, yes, they caught some stuff, but it's, again, probably once a year where we live, it's not necessary. All right, let's look here. All right, so no plastic covering on here. So what do we got? We got yellow stripes. Here we got blue stripes. Here we have this one line. Oh, here we have 2 lines of this caulking material. Though there's some sort of a green thing here. But overall, I mean, it's again, considering all of these were kind of cheap filters. All right, let's get this one in there. And once again, I'll do the 2-hand trick where I don't have to remove anything else. Just slide it in there through the 2 halves and call it a day. All right, so I do have to admit that this was a bit of a struggle to get it back in there. And the reason for that is because here, once you get the new filter in, you can kind of see the orange stuff. These need to be like realigned. And I don't know, somehow I had a very hard time getting them back in there. Maybe because the filter is being pinched somewhere. I mean, I tried to finagle this box. I even considered maybe taking some of the bolts off from like right there and maybe right there so I can, you know, so I can better maneuver it. But then I was like, well, you know what? I should be able to just, you know, jiggle this thing and get it back in there, which I did. Now these clamps right now, the way that they are, they're a little bit more stiff than, let's say, that they were from the factory. But I mean, I feel like I'm not hurting anything. I don't see any filter sticking out from anywhere. And most importantly, these two halves like did click in, well, not click, but I see align, because I couldn't really get them in there. So after, so again, just jiggling it a little bit, I was able to get them and get these clamps back on. Now once again, this is a matter of full disclosure. These clips are probably a little tighter than they were before, but at the same time, once again, I feel the filter is in there. It'll do its job. I don't see any huge gaps anywhere else. And yeah, and then these things are clicked in there, and maybe they're a few millimeters off. Maybe there's some sort of a thing in the bottom of it that didn't really realign. But ultimately, yeah, once I kind of understood what was going on, because I was like, man, really can't get these two halves back, and it's like, it should be pretty self-explanatory. But so there's that. All right, let's go into here now. If I know anything about, let's move back, Subaru Forester. Now my wife's glove box is a bit, you know, full, but if I know anything there is to know, all I do is I remove this little guy here, and then all I do is I grab the bottom and kind of pull it towards myself and basically take the glove box off, and underneath it should be a little access door. So I shouldn't be able, I mean, I shouldn't need to remove any of the panels to get inside. Now actually there's, I mean, yeah, there's this one panel here, but looks like, oh, this whole piece is all molded. So if I have to remove stuff, God help me. But I don't think I should be able to get in there once I just turn the glove box kind of inside out type of deal. Now let's see. Yep, so what was true in the Subaru Forester is also true here. So there's these stoppers, so you kind of have to bend it from these sides, and then this just holds it in place. And right in there is a little door. It's right here. I had to pinch two of these, and they were just covering this thing up. And then when that dropped, we were exposed. Once again, not a very good place, because look, half of it is obscured. You see that? It's hitting against this plastic here, so you kind of have to like bend. Oh wow, stuff is just falling out of there. Okay, all right. Whew. Replace only. Up. Okay. So good. So on that one, I put the arrows facing up as well, so that kind of reinforces my suspicion which way to do it. Oh wow. So okay. So this one, because we did take it on road trips, you see, it collected a lot more crap than on a Ford, because like I said, the Ford, I just use it to get back and forth, you know, to work most of the time. So when you go on a longer trip in 9,000 miles, no, excuse me, 9,000 miles or even a little less, it catches up some stuff. So, all right, let's get this Eco Guard. The box kind of came destroyed a little. Okay, it's also sealed, so let's get in there. All right, so this one, made in China. What about this one? Does it say? Up and no, this one doesn't say where it's made, but okay, well, replace only. All right, so this one, yeah, I mean, they look about the same. Here it is, just wow, very white. So this one is gray on the inner side, this one's just white all over the place. All right, well, let's get in there. Now this one, no tools were needed, just well, technically not on this one either, you know, not in there. So let's see how easy it is to get it back in there. So that's what's kind of is weird about it, is that it's obstructed. So okay, just kind of shoving it in there. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, because no, wait a minute. All right, might need two-hand approach, because I don't think that looks right. All right, so in this case, yeah, you kind of have to do it the soft side like here, and then the little firm side's got to go on the side here, because otherwise it doesn't fit. It's become scrunched up. When I turned it the other way, it fit, and it kind of rests on this little shelf. But that is so odd that it's obscured by its own like housing. But that's how it is. Well, there's no screws here. I don't know if I'll be able to do this one hand, but basically you got this little cover that just kind of sits there, and I got to line up these tabs. So I doubt that I'll be able to do this with one. Oh, see, spoke too soon. So there's nothing that holds it on top, but these little clips just gotta, see that? Just gotta get in there, and yeah, it kind of holds itself in place. So no tools, no screws. I don't have to remove any of these. I will need 2 hands to get the glove box back, and we'll see how it looks. All right, so yeah, so this was easy peasy. Just line it up, get the bottom pieces, the little hinges clicked in. Once you get the bottom pieces, these little wings kind of fall into place. They bent themselves in, and now it stops. And then this is the little retainer thing that keeps it from plopping, so it's kind of controlled. And then it closes. Got a little scratches here. Oh crap! Yeah, I'm gonna need to wipe that. Yeah, doesn't look too good. All right, yeah, it'll come off. It'll buff out. It'll buff out. So yeah, so here you go. So here's the bottom line on this. Let's move this up a little. So comparing these two, this is a way easier inside the glove box versus the glove box. Yeah, it's insane. Here, let's lock it up. This housing, compared to this housing, so here you have to remove 5 screws. Here you have 0 screws, but you have this thing to finagle. To be honest with you, I almost feel like, at least in this case, removing 5 screws is not that big of a deal. We're trying to get this thing in there. Now, I left a lot of this off camera because it was just me shifting and shimmering and all that stuff, and just getting in there, and then trying to get these things to align in this. So maybe because this is the first time I did it on this car, and maybe in the Forester, I don't remember struggling that much in a Forester. So maybe things change, maybe a little bit changed, but I almost feel like I would rather remove 5 screws and get very easy access there compared to this. Now the next time I do this, maybe stuff will just fall into place by accident, or maybe I'll just get faster in doing this. But yeah, so it's an interesting kind of comparison. But still, in general, I think the design here is way easier and way better. There is just way more complicated. And here you can quickly pop out the filter and kind of get it at least to check, especially on the glove box. I mean, that's actually way easier. Here might be a little off. So all right, well, I hope you guys learned this or learned something, I should say. I'm gonna need 2 hands to close this, but in general, that's the filter life. I'm gonna throw away some of the old filters, and I feel like the way we drive, maybe once a year, it's too fast, so I'm gonna have to dump all this stuff. But once every 1.5 to 2 years, yeah, that's probably where it falls down. But you can do it yourself. If I can do this myself, then trust me, so can you. All right, see you around, everybody.